And welcome into another edition of Tobs Talk, everyone. Riley Corcoran here with you. The Tobs ended a 3-game losing streak last night in the second annual train game, defeating the High Point Thomasville High Toms 3-2 in 11 innings. It had a little bit of everything this ball game last night. It went a little bit over 3 hours. There were more Tobs fans than High Toms fans, but the Tobs pitching staff really came through in the clutch as Julio Valdez went 7 innings of no-run baseball as far as earned runs, gave up just 3 hits and 2 runs in the ball game. The bullpen was spectacular. Josh Johnson, 2 1/3 innings pitched. He now leads the squad in appearances and innings pitched. We'll talk with him coming up in this episode. He picked up the victory last night, and we finally got to see John Fitzsimmons in that closer role. We had been talking about him since the very beginning of the season. Great numbers at Canisius. Again, an ERA of just over 1 this season. He came in with the bases loaded, nobody out, and struck out the side in the 11th inning to preserve the victory for the Tobs. They win 3-2. Kevin Jordan hit a home run for Wilson last night, so there were plenty of positives throughout. We're going to talk with Coach Love coming up next to break down that game, as well as Matt Micah to break down tonight's doubleheader, a rare doubleheader against the Peninsula Pilots, and it is huge as far as the first half playoff standings are concerned. The Tobs, again, are 9-7, Peninsula 9-8, so a crucial doubleheader. That's all coming up next. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight. Welcome back into Tobs Talk. Riley Corcoran and Austin Love breaking down last night's game against the High Point Thomasville High Toms. The Tobs ending a 3-game losing streak and came in dramatic fashion, Coach. It was the classic pitchers duel. Julio Valdez was throwing great, but we'll go straight into that 11th inning. Nerve-wracking. John Fitzsimmons comes in, scoring the run first off. Just take me through the 11th inning, as offensively and defensively, finally coming out on top. Jim Lupins led off the inning for us in the top half, and he's had some good swings on some balls, but hadn't really gotten a hit. And he hit a big double down the right field line. And of course, he runs well for a man of his size, but we got some speed on the bench. We made a change there, and Seth Neely found a gap in left center. That was a little bit of drama there in itself, right. But he found a gap in left center and scored the run for us. And going into the bottom half, Josh Johnson, who's done very well for us, he started it off, and just so happens the bases ended up being loaded, and Fitzsimmons came in and did what he's supposed to do for us, and what he's pretty much done for Canisius the last 2 years is just put people away and get saves. It's an exciting game to be a part of, the way it went down at the end. And it's something, too, we're going to get into the offense that it's been a little bit slow still, even the last 3 games, but how nice is it for a coach to have so much confidence in a stopper, 8th inning guy, whatever you want to call Josh Johnson's role, and then John Fitzsimmons, to have that much of a luxury to have those 2 guys at the back end of your rotation. It really changes ball games. In my opinion, the reason why the Tobs won last night. Yeah, and the great thing about both of them is they both pitch well to both sides of the plate. So it doesn't matter whether it's a lefty or righty. You pretty much can leave them out there to do what they need to do. And Josh, he's a strike thrower. He's got some sink, throws a slider, and he got some big swing and misses. Early in his time of the game yesterday, in bunt situations and things like that. And then Fitzsimmons, he has a great changeup. A good breaking ball, and I can't explain how excited we are to have both of them, because last night was pretty much what they're meant to do in the game, except for it's meant to happen a little bit earlier. Josh Johnson, we'll talk to him in a little bit, and let's talk about Julio Valdez, because he will get lost in the mix just with how the game unfolded. For what he did the first 2 starts, struggling with his control, having another couple of factors that were put into it. Both starts were against Fayetteville, too. Seems to be the kryptonite for the Tobs right now. But last night, he was pretty much unhittable. He made 1 mistake, but 3 hits allowed in 7 innings, 2 runs, neither of them being earned. Talk about Julio's performance last night. It was great. That's pretty much, when I talked to his coaching staff at Alabama State, they said, hey, you can get a guy who throws 3 pitches, fills up the zone, and that's what he did last night. He threw curveballs, changeups when he needed to some of their bigger hitters, and to the hitters where he needed to attack them with fastballs, he did that. And he continues to go out there, and I love him. He tries not to show it too much when he's pitching, but he's an extreme competitor, hates losing, probably more than anybody besides me on the team. And we're glad to have him, and we'll run him back out there again next week. And the Tobs again winning, ending that 3-game losing streak, now 9-7 on the season.
Real quickly, one last note on that game. How about Kevin Jordan? I mean, against a left-handed pitcher, he hit a moonshot, and from the guys up in the press box, they told me that was the furthest ball hit at historic Finch Field all year long. Might have went over the road in right field, but against a left-hander, I know that we've talked about this. It's been a point of emphasis that Kevin wants to improve on, but how great was that to see him just hit an absolute shot off a left-hander?
Oh, it was exciting. I know he platooned all year at Wake Forest and didn't play against left-handers, and he got a hit against Edenton against a left-hander. He came over third base and said, "Coach, that's my first hit against a lefty in a while." And, he's working on his approach against lefties, and he's working on some stuff mechanically. And, when he hits them, they are no doubters. I mean, he's got tremendous juice and speed to go with it. And, hopefully that's going to ignite him to keep him rolling. And, hopefully he'll do something big again tonight.
And a big part of the Tobs team right now is so many outfielders, which, of course, you should know by now. The Tobs, again, 9-7, taking on Peninsula in a doubleheader tonight. One final note on the train game. It was a pretty cool experience. I know that a little bit tired today with coming back and then playing a doubleheader, but just all in all, what did you think of the whole train game experience 2 days?
I think it was great. Some of the guys who have never been on a train before got to experience that. And going to Thomasville and just being a part of the game, it felt like a bit of a home game, especially with me being from that area, and just so many Tobs fans were there. I mean, I really believe we had more Tobs fans there than High Toms fans, and it was very, very nice, and especially winning and then getting back on the bus after we got on the train and just being able to celebrate a little bit with them and kind of show them how we roll a little bit with our guys and being able to converse with them a little bit and hang out. So it was really fun.
A unique experience for sure. The Tobs get the win. Let's turn the page tonight. Again, a quick turnaround and 2 huge games. It's going to be maybe tough to get up for both of these games, but they're so important now against the Peninsula Pilots. Team the Tobs did pretty well against in the early part of the season. A makeup of the game that was rained out last Monday, and again, trying to get 2 big wins. How do you prepare differently for a doubleheader with it being, 2 7-inning contests, but do you prepare the team any differently?
No, you prepare, you just prepare for the first game. Offensively, you need to score a little earlier because you don't have as many innings to work with. So we're going to be aggressive early and try to jump on them as quickly as possible. And then once you, complete the first game, then you move on to the second one. So thank goodness we're pretty deep in position players to where we don't have to, run certain guys ragged. And, our height guys are going to play, and hopefully they'll come out pretty quick and then jump on Peninsula. And, we can hand the ball to guys like Josh and John late in the game. And, hopefully Micah and Matt will go pretty deep for us to where we may not even need those guys.
Micah Wells going in Game 1 for the Tobs. Matt Borens will start Game 2. We'll talk with Josh Johnson coming up next. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight. We are back, Tobs Talk on Greenlight. Riley Corcoran joined by Josh Johnson, the stopper, let's say for the Wilson Tobs in the bullpen right now, leading the team in innings pitched, also leading the team with 8 appearances, all out of the bullpen. And Josh, first question for you, it has to be, did you expect this kind of role right away when you came to the Tobs, coming from the College of St. Rose? I mean, nothing like North Carolina when it comes to baseball, but at the same time, to play this kind of role and to be a significant contributor, did you expect that right away?
Well, coming in, I wanted to get as much playing time as I could and really develop my craft because I was on a conditional contract when I first came in, so I didn't know how long I was going to be here. But my mentality, I just wanted to come in and just throw strikes and get outs.
And that's exactly what he's done so far. And I guess we'll explain a little bit. Was that maybe your first goal, was to get off the conditional contract and become maybe one of those full-time players, or what did you have in mind as far as a goal?
I mean, I definitely wanted to be down here the whole summer. I mean, the first day here, I instantly, I love the guys. It's a great atmosphere here, and it's really fun to play. It's a lot different than it is summer ball up north. So.
And again, Josh Johnson, 20 1/3 innings pitched right now, and getting the win last night against the High Point Thomasville High Times. Let's get into that performance. 2 1/3 for you, but you came in, every inning seemed to be stressful. Do you just thrive on that kind of situation where you're going to be pitching in late inning ball games, you become the stopper like Coach Love just said, but do you thrive on those kind of situations with guys on base?
I mean, I love coming in those pressure-filled situations. When I played JUCO ball, my freshman and sophomore year, I was the closer there. So I always came in, those bases loaded situations, or up by a run, the last inning of the game. So I find that I perform best under pressure.
And again, for you, filling up the strike zone, not walking too many batters. I mean, last night maybe 1 or 2 got away, but at the same time, how much pride do you take in throwing strikes, making sure, being reliable, not that guy that's going to walk the yard around, basically? How much pride do you take in that?
I mean, to me, throwing a walking guy is the worst thing you could do. during the school season, I walked way too many guys, I felt. And I've kind of corrected a little bit since I've been here, but there's still it's a work in progress.
And for you, from the College of St. Rose, tell everyone a little bit about your journey, how you ended up there. I mean, transferring back and forth, and when baseball really became a reality that you could play at the next level. Just tell everyone a little bit about your journey.
Well, coming out of high school, I was a catcher all 4 years in high school. You know, had all those accolades, all area, all that. And then I tried out. I was a walk-on at Hudson Valley Community College in Troy, New York. And I tried out as a catcher, and we had a list of secondary positions. So I'm like, okay, you know, I pitched a little bit in high school here and there. I'll put that down. And the talent behind the plate was tremendous. So I had no shot catching. And so they threw me out there to pitch a little bit. And, you know, next thing I know, they had me on the pitching staff, make the team. Actually came down here and played Southeastern University for was my first appearance. First pitch I threw, absolute bomb. I'm talking like 450 feet, moonshot. And I mean, I guess ever since that, it's been history. I got him the second time around the order, and I've been the closer ever since there. Then after I graduated from Hudson Valley, I went to Springfield College for a semester. Ended up transferring out of there, took a semester off, and then went to the College of St. Rose, where I was the Sunday starter.
Wow. And again, the rest is history, like you said. And coming from that catcher's background to become a pitcher, how does that change your mindset when you approach games? And again, you know, you like to fill up the strike zone, but having that catching background, how has that helped you as a pitcher?
Well, I mean, it has me look at the game a little differently. As a pitcher, a lot of times you just think of, oh, you know, I threw this pitch to this guy previously. I'm going to come at him with this, try to screw him up in the head a little bit. But as a catcher, you kind of see, oh, maybe they're weak here, they're weak there. So you want to attack their weaknesses a little bit too.
And again, Josh Johnson starting on a conditional contract and as a catcher maybe way back in the day, and now all of a sudden one of the best pitchers on the Wilson Tobs, again, leading the team in innings pitched and appearances. Right now, just a little bit over 3 ERA, but 2 wins already for the Tobs. We're going to talk with Matt Micah about the matchup tonight against Peninsula Pilots when we return. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight. We are back, Tobs Talk on Greenlight. Riley Corcoran and Matt Micah. It's been a long 24 hours or so, Matt, but a great experience, experiencing the train game, going back and forth. I think it took more of a toll on everybody today, getting up pretty early and now a doubleheader on top of it. But I guess sum up your train game experience between yesterday and today.
It was a fantastic experience. I know going into the season, we wanted to make that connection with the fans through the social media and through like different areas like funny YouTube videos. But it was a great experience to them, for the fans to sit down with the players and get to like interact with them on the train and get to know them personally. And
really get to see the passionate Tobs fans, which of course we do appreciate. And how about Tex? I mean, he was just he was stealing the show in High Point, Thomasville at the stadium. I mean, Cotton Eye Joe, did you expect something like that coming?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, next thing you know, I realized that he was due up next in the 7th inning, and he starts dancing. I had to take a video of him. It's on Facebook, on our Facebook page, by the way.
Well, make sure to go like that. Again, like Coach Love said, very proud, at least there were more Tobs fans at the game than there were, I would say, High Toms fans. But let's break down that game. That could be a season changer, Matt, with how dramatic it was. The Tobs were down 2-1 going into the 8th inning. They score that run, then they win in the 11th. Going through the game, I know we were sitting up in the press box just going, it's a weird, eerie feeling. The offense just really isn't clicking, but the pitching staff came through last night.
Right. The biggest game changer was the Jordan's home run. They were kind of out of it, kind of sluggish. They gave up those 2 runs, and then Jordan hits an absolute bomb, and that kind of just sparked them a little bit, and they stuck in the game, and the pitching came through.
And again, we just heard from Josh Johnson, the stopper right now for the Tobs. Coach Love likes his role to be. I agree. And then John Fitzsimmons being the closer there. So you have those 2 at the back end of the rotation. Coach Love mentioned it of how nice it is to have those 2 guys at the end. But, I mean, how dominating in your eyes really were they? John Fitzsimmons coming in, a tough spot. Okay, bases are loaded. There's nobody out. And you're up by 1 run. Game's on the line. He strikes out 3 guys in a row. I knew he was good.
Right.
Do you think he was that good?
No, I mean, not at all. That blew me away. That was very impressive. He just got right in the zone and said, you know what, I'm going to put the team on my back tonight, and I'm just going to get the job done.
And he did. Julio Valdez, too. We have to mention him because I know it's going to get lost in the mix because he got a no decision. He's still 0-0 as far as his record right now. But Julio Valdez on the mound. What was he able to do to keep the high times hitters off balance all night long?
He was able to throw his curveball for strikes, throw his off speed for strikes, and then attack hitters with his fastballs. In the first couple of starts he had, he was kind of wild. Didn't throw his curveball for strikes, but he was able to throw his curveball for strikes, and then that would set him up for his fastball.
And the Tobs ending that 3-game losing streak, now 9-7. It's a logjam in the standings right now in the East with Peninsula, Wilmington, the Tobs, Morehead City as well. And tonight a doubleheader against Peninsula. How do you prepare for something like this? We got Coach's answer from it that you don't do anything different. From a player's mindset, though, it is different because it's 2 7-inning contests. There's not much room for error. It just seems, and I know it seems silly at first, but those 2 innings make a huge difference. So just take last night, for example. If it was a 7-inning game, the Tobs would have lost.
Right.
But today, it's a little bit different. How do you prepare for this doubleheader?
You just got to go in with the same mindset as a 9-inning game. Just go out, get your runs every single inning. If you win every single inning, you'll win a ball game. So they have to go out, do their thing, attack the zone as a pitcher, and attack the balls as a hitter. And
let's talk about the starting pitchers for the Tobs tonight. Let's first go with Michael Wells. You saw his game last Sunday where he pitched well against Fayetteville, did not allow an earned run, but picked up the loss. What did you see from him last Sunday that you think he needs to carry over on tonight to be successful?
He wasn't nervous. I could tell he wanted to be on the mound. He wanted to dominate the game. He was able to throw his changeup for strikes. He was able to throw his other off speed for strikes, and then attack hitters with his fastball. And he was very calm on the mound. He wasn't, nervous. He wasn't, speeding towards the plate. He was able to throw everything for strikes, and that was just was a benefit for him.
And again, for Matt Borens, kind of the other side of the spectrum for him. He was so good his first 2 starts, but then last one only went 2 innings, allowed 6 runs. How do you just have that short-term memory as a pitcher and get rid of that outing? And hopefully we see the Matt Borens from the first 2 starts.
Right, just like you said, he had to get rid of that real quickly and just go right back on the mound and remember what he has and be confident with what he has.
So again, the Wilson Tobs have a doubleheader tonight. First pitch at 6 o'clock, and then the game time in between will be about 20 minutes between Game 1 and Game 2. We hope to see you out at the stadium as well, historic Fleming Stadium. Our next Tobs Talk will be on Friday for the team hosts Wilmington. So again, we'll see you on Friday here on Tobs Talk on Greenlight.